5. Jazz hands! Welcome to Love Crap. Sorry. Woo! Okay, yes, it is Crazy Sunday because I'm on the West Coast and Seahawks just won their championship game and they are going to the Super Bowl, baby. Whether you're a Hawk fan or not, it happened. So, let's try this again. Welcome to Love Right Create, hashtag.
Woo!
I am here with the lovely Gaby Robbins.
Howdy. I don't do sporting, but yay, Seahawks.
And the lovely Kallie Ross.
Hello, everyone. I'll do jazz hands for the Seahawks. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll appreciate that. All right. Well, today we've got a few different things to talk about, but it is, well, we've passed the midpoint in January, so I thought it might be a good time to kind of check in on our goals. At the beginning of the year, we each set writing goals for the year, but we also set some specific January goals. So I just thought before the month was up, maybe we should check in, kind of see where we're at with those. If we're doing great and on track, awesome. If not, do we need some adjustments or just a kick in the pants and let's get it going? So, who wants to start?
Kallie.
Kallie.
Okay, I'll go first. I have to say that I had two main goals. One of them I'm doing great on, and one of them I'm totally slacking. And it's funny because I actually just went back in my notes and read them, and the second one I was like, oh, I forgot about that one. So I still have half a month to get back on track on that one. So the first is to write every day, and I can say that in January I have written every single day, whether it's journaling, blogging, defend, but I am writing every single day. And it feels really good because I can even tell in my word counts how it is helping me write better. I don't mean to say that it's been very, very good for me. So that, and then the other goal was to read through my paperback of Descent before or while I'm writing Defend, and I'm not doing great on that. And part of it is because I have this really awesome friend that sent me an early copy of her novel, and so I stopped reading mine so I could read hers. And so, can I have some forgiveness on this one?
I'm going to let you off the hook on that one, because it's important to do things for our friends. So.
Thank you.
Sure. Jazz hands for you, though, on the writing. Woo!
Ah.
Oh, now it's Gabby's turn.
Okay, I had the lofty goal of hitting 65% done in January. Along with that, some of my goals were to write 4 times a week and to blog once a week, not including our Love, Write, Create blogs. Now, I've written some, not 4 times a week, and I'm probably not quite close to that 65% goal, but because we've been talking about just different things, I've got to figure out a way to get this done. And so I don't know if we'll talk about this later, but I've made a plan of action. Good. And hoping that after what we learned this weekend, because we did a little bit of a time management thing, that I would be able to basically do more to be more organized to get those goals done. I've done a little writing, I've done some blog posts, but obviously it's not up to where I want to be. So I'm hoping that this changing this up will help me get to that point.
Great, that sounds good. It's good to have. Sorry, noise is happening outside. Sorry. It's good to have. Jeez.
That was a great context for my exciting announcement. So yes.
Fired. Sorry. No, but it's good. It's good to kind of, as we look back, reevaluate where we are and kind of make adjustments. And I think that's awesome. So for me, let's see. I had goals. Let's see. For my January, was to release book 3 in my series, which is happening on the 29th. So that's kind of already in play, so I guess I really didn't do much other than prepping for that and the marketing and whatnot. My other was to do some research and get 30,000 words on a new project that I'm starting. Yeah, I changed projects because I realized that this one was going to need more research than I was prepared to give it to start it, and I wanted to kind of get working on something. So I am still going to do it, but I'm kind of setting it aside and giving it some more time to kind of slowly research and build into it. So I am working on a new project, but I really just started it a couple days ago. So probably not going to hit 30,000 words, but it's underway. So
is this a project that we've heard about, or is this something completely different?
It's the one that we did brainstorming for last week.
Cool.
Ha ha ha. Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I'll put a little plug in here for if you have not seen the video last week, go watch it because it was very helpful on how to know if your idea is book-worthy, if it can play out into a full-length book. And I actually found the questions very helpful, so go check those out.
Thanks. That kind of makes me feel like I didn't waste a couple of hours putting that together.
Yeah, I think it's great. Actually, I have an idea for it, so I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing great, Morgan. You're awesome. This is great.
All right. So, along with goals comes time management.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can't have, you can have goals and not do well with your time management, but you probably won't accomplish your goals, or at least the fullness to what those goals could be, or even surpassing those goals. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about time management in regards to our goals. All three of us recently took a webinar that was done by Heather Hildebrand and SM Boyce on time management. They are prepping for a big course that they've put together, kind of I think it's like a 4-week intensive that actually begins in February. So definitely check it out. Their website is findtimetowrite.com. I would highly recommend looking into this, if not now, at some point in the future. But anyway, so we took this webinar, and great information. It was just kind of a intro into the class, really. So we're not going to take time to really go over what they said because it was their information, so I don't want to reteach that. But I want to talk about how we take some of those things and apply them to our own lives, into our, not the everyday stuff, because that's a whole another topic in itself, finding balance between time management with your family and the household chores and our writing and work, and that's a lot. So tonight we're going to scale it down and just talk about how we are fitting that in with our writing. Where do we need to improve? What are some tips? How can we help each other, help ourselves? I looked up just to see what was out there. I just looked up time management online. There's a ton of stuff. I found some really great articles on entrepreneur.com, just tips and things to do, make lists. There were some about some of the very wealthy people in the world and the things that they say about it and how they use their time and what they say to focus on. So stuff like that was really helpful. So what do you guys think? How do you want to just kind of go around and say something that you want to work on and how that will apply to your own writing? Would that be the best way to do this?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I actually did an exercise last week that when you actually texted this topic, I thought, well, I could talk about that because I am using a passion planner, which is, if you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's a very extensive, thorough calendar. But at the beginning of the planner, you have some exercises you do so that you can really seek out your passion and plan for it, hence Passion Planner, throughout the year. And of course, it has long-term goals that you can set, but the one I found the most productive, I guess, and the most that I could implement like right at that moment was this 3-month goal. And you took 1 minute to 1 to 2 minutes and you brainstormed everything you want to do within 3 months. And of course you do it for different time spans, but again, applicable 3 months, I can do it right now. And then after you make that list, you have to prioritize those goals, and you have to pick the one main goal that you want to achieve. And then after that, you actually have to create a timeline to achieve that goal within those 3 months. And it is like serious business, hourly on your calendar, kind of like you have on your phone or something, but where you write out and you put what you're going to be doing hourly, not just the time that you're writing, but also the time that you're watching your favorite TV show or the time you're going to spend doing laundry, so that you can actually see the time that you are wasting, or the time that you have open that you're not writing, or that you're twiddling your thumbs, or whatever it is. And so for me, and it's something I think anybody could do even without this calendar, is taking a 3-month chunk of time, and from right now, it's January 18th, what do you want to have finished April 18th, and then plan it. Plan it for 3 months, and you can do it. It's 3 months. It might be saying no to a few other things so that you can get this one main goal accomplished, but it's one of those things that kind of changed my way of thinking too, because I've been living my life kind of saying yes to other things because I feel like I have to help people, or I have to stop and do that, or stop and do this, and it's made me question whether I really want to write. But the problem is that I want to write. I'm just giving up what I want for other people, and so for me, it's really just saying no to other things, because writing is what I want to do. It's what I'm passionate about. And I'm giving that up every time I say, sure, I don't have to do this writing stuff. I can go over and help you do that, or I can do that, instead of managing my time better. So anyway, that was long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Just so you know what I'm trying to do, because Kelly, we talked a little bit about that last night, about the Passion Planner. And I think that I want to do a 3-month goal, but for this week time, I want to try to do something a little more specific, just so that I can get some writing under my belt. So I put together a plan for this week. And so I'm going to try just this week to wake up early, and my husband and I are both doing it at the same time, because we both kind of are trying to hit some goals ourselves. And to get at least an hour of writing time before I get to work. Because I feel like after, when we get home, I work a full-time job, I come home, do dinner, spend time with kids, and then it's either I'm too exhausted or whatever, I have to get this thing done or whatever. So for this week, my husband's kind of said, after 9 o'clock, it's all your time to just do what you have to do. So along with waking up early and having an hour of writing time before I go to work, I'll have time after work to do stuff at about 9 o'clock till about 11, just so that I'm not dead. Like, I'm going to try not to stay up super late. But it's kind of a commitment my husband and I made together, which I feel like will be super helpful, so I'll actually get it done. And then there's writing nights. Like, I'll go and write with Kelly one night, and then on the nights I take the kids to church, that's going to be a writing night. I'm not going to come home from work. I'm going to do that. And see if for this week, at least this month, make it an intensive of I'm just writing as much as possible. So that's kind of what I've done, just because I thought, I can say I'll do 4 days a week and fit it in, and it just hasn't worked that way. So I think just switching things up and being more intentional about that time hopefully will help me get it done.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good too. And what Kelly was saying too, first of all, I want to check out that planner. That sounds kind of cool. But yeah, it's getting more specific with it, and like you said, instead of just saying 4 days a week, it's time. Set aside purposeful blocks of time, and especially if you can get a spouse on board that can be, a part of that deal and can help you, and just that you both know, okay, this is what we're doing. That's been super helpful for me because I think we're kind of in the same boat here. I apologize for the interruptions. My child is having a breakdown. So sorry if you saw that. At least it was kind of quiet. I don't know.
Yeah, no, fine.
Fine.
Oh boy. Okay, so my turn.
Your turn. What are you doing? What are you doing with this time management thing in your own schedule or calendar?
Okay, this I'm actually kind of excited about this because I feel like I've been in the last 6 months or so, I was just trying to, any pockets of time, instead of looking for the big blocks, just taking little bits when I can. And that was helpful because it helped me kind of, focus in. But this year, and my husband and I, we at the beginning of the year, we kind of plan out our goals for our own businesses and for our family. And so we really strategized finding ways for me to get more focused writing time. I homeschool my daughter part-time, so she's at home, she's young, so I was like, it's nice to say that, but I'm home with my daughter, and which I love, by the way, but she's at the age still where she can't just go do her own things for long blocks of time, and so I went through this guilt of, okay, well, I really need to be writing. I need to get this in. But so then she would come and interrupt me, or she needed time. And so then I felt guilty not being with her and playing and doing things. And, so then there was this tension of, okay, then I'd get frustrated because I wasn't getting my creative time and getting my writing done. And so we're trying this new thing where, he has to fit it into his schedule too. But I have 3 days in the week that I'm getting about 4 hours of a block time. So that is my writing time. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Part of that she's at school or with a grandparent, or some of it's with him. So I'll do school with her in the morning. Just getting personal here with my schedule. And then on those days, Wednesday and Friday she's at school, so I guess that doesn't fit. But so I do school in the morning with her, like on Monday, and then he's got her, or she goes to grandma's or something. We have a schedule planned out, but then I get that chunk of time. And I'm not supposed to focus on admin. I'm not supposed to do promo or marketing or the little stuff that eats away at my time. It is focused. This is writing time. That is all I'm supposed to be doing. And I realized, breaking it down, if I just had 3 days of some good chunks of focused writing time, I could be getting in 10 to 15,000 words a week. And if I can do that every week in a month, then I'd be racking up some words. I thought, so I'm just looking at it as I'm trying to be more intentional with my time, is I guess what I'm coming down to. So that's something we've started. It's only been a couple of weeks, so we're still working the kinks out, but so far it's been really good. And then if I get evening time, that's bonus writing time. Or then I'm trying to pick a couple days that are just admin stuff and focusing, instead of little bits here, checking my email for an hour, just little things that I find just took up like a couple hours. I was like, what was I doing? So trying to be more scheduled. I even wrote out my goals. So I'm going to post these on the wall in front of me to keep it forefront in my mind and be focused. And I feel like I'm rambling at the moment, but that's kind of where I'm at.
That's awesome.
In a long nutshell.
No, I think it's good. But I filtered this through Twitter and threw it out there. And Laura Cristiano, who is a friend of ours, she actually threw out 2 websites that are great for time management, but for the people that are very meticulous and really do need that accountability of seeing how much time they spend on things. One of them is rescuetime.com, and the other one is Kimai, and it's spelled KIMAI.org. And that one is actually like a paid app that you or program that you buy and use, and it keeps track of what you do and your timing. But I just thought I'd throw those out there because that's one of the things that I was going to ask you guys. Like, you can say, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but are you guys, other than maybe like a note next to your computer, are you guys going to be keeping track of your schedule on these goals? Is it something like you feel like you have to do every day, or can you be generic and say, I'm going to do this in January, or I'm going to do this week? Because I tend to be the person that has to have the daily, because like I said, this month I'm writing every day, and I'm seeing a huge difference in my motivation, in my inspiration, and creativity. Right. And so for me, the daily has been a huge benefit. And I think at first I thought it would be a detriment, like I'd be wasting time just writing or journaling. But now I'm seeing that that little extra chunk of writing time, like handwriting, is making me want to go and type out the next chapter because I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think daily is huge. Like you said, even if it's not actual typing or working on your book every day, if it's something, whether it's journaling or blogging, and that's why I want to try and fit in on my off days of writing, you know, so like Tuesdays and Thursdays where it's really time with my daughter or family or friends, whatever, but then the evenings to have some time just to, you know, just to write. Yeah, I think for me, I need daily. I need lists. I need a schedule to keep me on track. Even if it's not in depth, even if it's just like 3 things, I need something in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think we talked about that a little bit. They said it in the seminar and our webinar, and I don't want to steal any thunder or anything, but it was pretty obvious that you pick the one thing today that you need to do, and you do it, and you get it done. But a lot of times for us, I know as women, and I know I say this, but even writers they're trying to write their first book and they have a full-time job. Like, there's always something, whether it's laundry, whether it's a deadline at work, whether it's putting together report cards, which I have to do after this. Like, there's always going to be something that trumps writing in our heads. It does.
Right, and I think that's where you have to decide. And either way is fine for you. Is it a hobby, something that you can just, you know, get to just enjoy and do when you have free time? Or is it something you want to make a priority and a focus, and then you prioritize around that? But I liked what they said too. Just the one thing. What is, you know, get this done. If it's laundry day, if it's ever, you know, but pick one thing to get done, you know, to do for you. Because I think that's what it is too. It's something that's, for me, it's mine. This is my thing that I love to do. It lights me up. I love it. It energizes me when I'm in the groove. That's my one thing. I want, you know, everything else. Sometimes there are things that have to get done, but everything else can kind of just wait its turn.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's also about that feeling of accomplishment. Like, this is the thing. Like, I feel like that in the past, when I have done things and planned things and they don't get done, I'm pretty ho-hum about it. Like, oh, okay, I didn't get it done, or, oh, you know. But then, you know, a few days later, I'm completely regretting that I didn't work on it, or I didn't get something finished. And now, with this daily, it's almost like it's what adds up to that main goal in 3 months. But with that daily, this is what I have to do. When I write 500 words, and I that's my chunk for today. I know it's a small amount. And I'll tell you, the other day I wrote 2,000 words, and it freaked me out because it only took like a couple of hours, and I was like, where did that come from? But the thing is like I felt so accomplished. And on the days where I have it set to write 750 words, but then there are days I have set to write 2,000 words. Like, when I finish that chunk, no matter what size it is, I feel so accomplished, and then everything else can get done, and I don't feel guilty because I didn't finish other stuff.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how much. I mean, even like you said, if it's 500 words, that's awesome. That was 500 words you didn't have before.
Yeah.
I also do this. I don't know if you guys do this. I'll wake up like at 4:35 in the morning, and I'll lay there and think about all the stuff I didn't get accomplished the day before and be so irritated and, like, stressed. Like, I can't go back to sleep, but I'm so tired I don't want to get up. And I think to myself, that's kind of why I'm trying to get up early in the morning, because I'm like, that's when it's, like, imperative. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, my gosh, if I don't do this, I'm going to die. Like, if I don't accomplish this goal, like, if I don't write this book, I am not going to make it. And I just hate that. And I feel like if I could get stuff done a little bit at a time every day, I wouldn't feel stressed out, and it wouldn't kind of put a damper on my whole day. You didn't get that done yesterday, you didn't get that done yesterday, you know, that kind of a thing. Yeah. I feel like if you can at least, like Kelly said, you know, knock out some stuff every single day, even if it's not the 2,000 words, you know, you will feel better about it, and it'll help you have a better outlook on everything else that you're doing.
Yeah,
it's a better mindset to write, you know, which I feel like it takes a lot for me to sit down and do it because I'm stressed about all the other things that are going on, so.
Well, and I'll be honest, accountability is so key. That's the one thing that's so great about our group. I feel like that if other writers are watching this and they want to be a part of it, all you have to do is tweet Love, Write, Create, we're going to see it, and just be like, hey, this week I want to write 5K, check on me in 5 days. And we'll do it. And I think that that's something that's so cool. Is I have another friend that I write with every now and then, and she doesn't have a close-knit a group of friends that write. And so whenever we hang out, she kind of did this goal setting with me, the 3 months. And for her, she's in the point in her writing where she just needs to figure out what she's going to write. You know, she's not even at the point where she's writing every day the content she wants to. She's writing for her work, for her job. And so I think that building that community of people, whether it's a close friend or whether it's a complete stranger that you know is going to check on you on Twitter and call you out in front of however many followers you have or they have, for some reason that helps me too. If I know that the next time we get together I have to say, I'm not doing what I said I would do, and then I want to get it done, or I want to get as close as I can to getting it done the next time that we are going to talk about it. And I think that that's something that if I didn't have children constantly saying, Mom, I need clean pants, I probably wouldn't do laundry as often as I do. Let's be honest. Yeah, my son doesn't care. But my daughter, on the other hand, it's a big deal. And it's funny because that's the stuff we usually devote our time to versus our writing, and it's because it's something you have people there saying, I need to eat, cook me dinner, you know. And so we do it, and we have that accountability. But with our writing, a lot of us don't have it. And so for me, I think that helps me with my time management as far as knowing I have to make a time for it, because if I don't, I'm going to get called out later. Like, seriously, y'all should call me out on it every now and then.
No, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Hashtag us. Hashtag Love, Write, Create.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
How many words did you write today?
Oh.
None today.
Church today serving what? I don't.
Hey, I wrote like 310 words before we jumped on here because I was like, I got to get something done because afterwards I got to make report cards. I have to average out grades. I have to do math, y'all. I have to do math. It's like a sad, sad day when I have to do math.
Oh, wow. Yeah, math's not fun. No. Cool. Well, is there any other thoughts you guys have on time management, or how any specifics in your writing, or anything else you want to mention?
No.
I'll say this. I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, because I was thinking about, you know, how much time do I spend kind of just analyzing my schedule? How much time do I spend on email? How much time do I spend on Facebook? How much time do I spend on social media? How much time do I spend watching TV? You know, all those little things. add up. And I was like, even trying to talk myself into believing, okay, well, when I'm on Facebook though, I'm working, or gotta do all these things. Well, no, I really don't. There's a few things that I do need to do. It's important to respond to people, communication, things like that. But I was on a phone call with some other authors, and one gal that was on there that she's kind of one of my heroes, but she was saying 10 minutes. She spends 10 minutes a day on Facebook. First of all, it's like, how do you even do that? How can you even look at anything in 10 minutes? But she does, because she has gotten very focused with her writing. So she's there, she responds to readers and questions and comments, but then she's off, So just trying to think about where I spend my extra time, and disconnecting.
Well, and let me ask you this. Okay, I'm about to get down to the nitty-gritty here.
Do it. Bring it.
Do you want to be known as being that really cool author that hangs out on Facebook with me, or that really cool author that writes amazing books?
Yeah, that one.
I'm constantly telling myself, people, yes, I'm sure they love it when you write happy birthday to them on Facebook, okay? That's great. Or I'm sure they love it when you put a quote of something you're writing, in the moment, while you're working on chapter 4 or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they want the next book. If I'm a good writer, they want the next thing, which means that, and honestly, to even take it a little deeper than that, am I doing this for them, or am I doing this because I want to get it done and I want to get it out on paper? And that's a whole nother show, because for me, I think this year I'm starting to realize that this is something I want to get out. I want to have it out of my head so I can move on to the next story that's in my head and get that one out of my head. So it's really more about me. And so, it's one of those things where, yes, I would love it for people to read it and love it, but at the same time, I feel like I'm learning and growing with every thought and idea that I have. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I think we also have to remember that it's about what do we want to be known for, or remembered for, or known as. And for me, there are plenty of people that are really amazing social media personalities.
Right.
They don't need another one.
Well, and I also think you got to think about it this way, especially for me, somebody who's writing their first book right now. Nobody's going to be looking for those quotes. Nobody's going to be looking for those things, right? So right now, it's good to kind of keep something happening, and once a week or whatever is fine. Otherwise, it's a distraction. Once you get that first draft done, and you're editing and stuff, give yourself a brain break and do a little, okay, I got done, and here's what we're doing, and give yourself a way to kind of get out. After that, you're editing, you're doing your stuff. Silence is fine. Nobody knows it's coming. You know what I'm saying? Besides the I am writing hashtag kind of thing. And then after you have it in your editor's hands, go crazy. Talk about it. Find the cool things to talk about. Get all those ideas you had when you were sitting, which is my problem. When I'm writing, I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to do a blog post about that. Write those all down and wait till that time.
Right.
When you're promoting and you're marketing and all of that stuff. And I think there's appropriate times. Morgan's in between right now. She has her books and her last book in everybody else's hand. Now's the time, unless she's working on a new project, to kind of talk and do stuff. I feel like social media is important. We don't want to say that it's not. But
no, I agree.
Being minded that sitting on Facebook and responding to everybody who puts something out there is not really going to help you unless somebody has something to read and is looking for you. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like a lot of times, the idea of social media is be on there, be communicating, be talking. Well, they're not going to be looking for you, and they're not going to have anything to talk about. It's just going to be your friends and family and the random people. Mm-hmm. It's not a priority right now, and you're right. You just need to focus on what the priority is.
Right. And I think you're right, though. That's a good point, that it is important, because you need to have those point of connections. That's how, you're communicating with your audience and the people that are reading your stuff and just your friends in general. But like you said, yeah, there are appropriate times, and And there are avenues there for you to minimize that. So, you can go to some, you've got your blog that sends an automatic post out to your Twitter, to your Facebook, so it's making all those connections, but you only need to post it one time. You don't need to spend all the time going to each thing, when you're in the middle of something.
And I think answering specific things, like I think when you talked about that call, like she only responds to people asking her, fans asking her questions, right? It wasn't like promoting other people. It was like that stuff has to be done in specific time frames. Just I think it's being intentional about how you do it, and just sitting on Twitter or sitting on Facebook, turn it off, take it off. Like I've gotten to the point now where I killed Kindle on my phone, because I'll start a book when I'm sitting waiting for something to happen, and then I get home and I gotta finish that book because I have OCD and I have problems. And so that, like, there's different things that that are your distractions that you need. Like if Pinterest pops up with a notification, I'm addicted to, because I'm on Pinterest for at least 10-15 minutes posting stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm clearing my notifications, and then, oh, look, so-and-so pinned something. There's, your things that you kill. Those are
and let me ask you this. Who is your favorite author? Like, who writes your favorite books?
J.K. Rowling, who hardly ever responds on Twitter.
Thank you. I mean, like, when you really think about it, and of course, like, being the English teacher that I am, obviously half the people that I love are dead. But, but when you think about it, the people that you want to not necessarily emulate in your writing, but the people that you feel inspired by, the people that not their social media. I'm talking about their writing, their books, their novels, their series. If you really think about it, probably more than half of those people have no presence, at least no personal presence on social media. They probably have a paid presence that someone else does for them on social media. Does that make sense?
Even that is sometimes very minimal, unless they're gearing up for something.
Yeah. And it's not to say that social media is not important. I totally agree that there's a huge avenue that it provides for writers. But I think that sometimes we can get lost in it.
Absolutely.
Right. It can be a time suck.
Yes, because time sucks. I want to have all the time in the world. I want to be able to do everything on my to-do list every day. And there's always one thing that's a time suck, and then I get mad and think time sucks.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is there anything else? Ooh, I just had to tell you this. It's kind of a rabbit trail, but in light of time management, it was very efficient, so I'm going to tell it. This morning when I wake up, I get a notification from Amazon that a book that I ordered should be in my mail carrier's hand. I was like, well, okay, that's awesome, but it's Sunday. No mail on Sunday. Sure enough, the guy comes to the door and drops off my Amazon box in a mail car. I was like, it's Sunday. How are they working?
Half of my stuff came from, because I'm lazy and I don't go shopping anymore for Christmas. I just order out of Amazon. Half of my stuff came on Sundays, and it was literally, I felt like it was Christmas every day of the month in January. That was a Sunday, because I was getting presents on Sunday. It was amazing.
Well, the post office, the U.S. Post Office was actually, they increased their time or their mail days, and it was only limited deliveries, but on Sundays they did work through December, and I think they extended it into January. I don't know if it's going to be more than that, but it was for the Christmas rush.
See, I could understand that for the Christmas. That would make sense. But I thought if that's a new thing that they do it all the time, I was like, wow, okay. I mean, first of all, I kind of feel bad. I wanted to have the Sunday off, but still, I was like, I got my book.
Hey, they're probably getting overtime. It's all good.
Maybe, yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, except that, I'll get it tomorrow. No, I got it today.
That's nice. I love it. It's bad, but I love it. Man, is so with Amazon Prime is so dangerous.
Oh boy. Okay, well, what do y'all think? Is there anything else we want to add, or are we feeling good about this?
Let's write.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see us come back in a couple more weeks and do an update again.
Yes, I think we should also be keeping in mind maybe updating our goals for February. You know, kind of making new February goals. Because I really like the idea of what you were saying, Callie, with the 3 months. That seems like a very practical yet realistic time frame to make goals. You know, you think about the whole year, but that's kind of big and daunting sometimes. You're like, the whole year, you know, can't think that far ahead. But, you know, if you can take it in smaller chunks, that seems very doable. So I like that.
And I'll tell you, I did the list of like a probably 5 to 10 things that I wanted to accomplish in 3 months. I chose the one thing that was the most important. And then I thought, good Lord, that is not going to happen. I mean, because it says anything. It's like a wish list of things that you wish you could do in 3 months. And then you had to take that one priority, that one main goal, and you had to create a timeline over the next 3 months to accomplish it. And I realized that it was so doable, like ridiculously doable, and I could do it if I really did buckle down and make it the priority that it should be, to be completely honest. So yeah, I mean, like it really did blow my mind. I was sitting there like putting together the timeline, and I was like, I could finish and have it done with the second round of edits by the middle of April. Like, it just was like my brain exploded. I couldn't believe it. So anyway.
That's awesome. All right, let's manage our time.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, ladies. Thanks, everyone. Make sure to check us out. Hashtag LoveWriteCreate.
Yep.
And just hands.